I get very emotional while listening to all these things, because my granddad was part of multiple wars. He was part of the Portuguese liberation of Goa.
Okay.
He was part of the Indo-China War, the Indo-Pakistan War, and he has always told me these stories about how, like, there was not even media back in the day. That time, my grandmom was in Belgaum, my hometown, and my granddad was in the border, and tabhi my grandmom used to get bullied by all the neighbors and all that. अरे तेरा पति तो मर गया ना, वहाँ तो लड़ाई चल रही है. And that time there was no telephone, nothing. वहाँ पे letters also were like, during a war situation you're not allowed to communicate continuously with your family. My grandfather was willing to sacrifice himself for the nation on the border, while my grandmom was going through so much traumatic situations at home. So I totally understand like how much defense people put online for the country. It's such a selfless act where you're willing to give up everything, whether it's your mental peace of your family, not only yourself, whether it's your own life, and so many other things. Like we as ordinary civilians of the country, we cannot even comprehend what, even though my grandfather has told me all these stories, I still not will be able to put myself in his shoes and understand like what he was going through, Tabi.
Very true.
And thinking about these things, sir, this question comes to my mind. What sort of financial security does the Navy provide for like the Navy commanders, or like just the Navy soldiers, or even defense soldiers in general, Army, Navy and Air Force, if a situation like this happens where my grandfather was and my grandmom didn't have any communication with him and he would have died on the battlefield? She would have no idea about like where his investments are, salary kahan se hai. She would have had to go to the HQ and like just check like, you know, okay, this is my husband, he was enrolled in the army and mujhe batao abhi kya bacha hai. So in this such a helpless situation, and she's illiterate, she doesn't know how to read and write. So I can totally imagine my grandmom being in that helpless situation. So what does the nation do for our veterans or our soldiers?
So that situation was there, no doubt, maybe in 70s, and you know it was tough situation. Now it is much more streamlined. Only sad part, abhi bhi ye, again, you know, there are a lot of foundations so when you are a casualty in a war or say insurgency, terrorist attack या counter, when you know ऐसे कुछ हो गया, death हो गया, so then your family is taken care. आपका जो pension है, everything, the unit reaches out and all. अभी भी only sad part अभी भी ये है कि if you die in duty, active duty, जब war नहीं है, मुझे heart attack आके मैं मर गया, then there is always, अभी भी वो debate है कि ये तो you know he was not an active casualty करके.
Okay.
So जो benefits वगैरह है उसमें a lot of debates are still there, you know. But rightly said, now there are a lot of foundations. Every city will have a veterans foundation. Like Bombay have a chapter called NFMC, and every city has. So these foundations and सारे Army, Navy, Air Force में there is a directorate now, directorate for ex-servicemen social affairs करके. So they take care. So उनका काम चालू होता है from the time officer or a man retire. तब से उनका जॉब चालू होता है, बिकॉज देयर एंटायर यूएसपी KRA इज दैट कि कौन कहाँ है, किसको फाइंड आउट करना है. सो दैट बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
Okay.
एंड थ्रू अवेयरनेस, थ्रू एजुकेशन, ऑलवेज नेवी, आर्मी, एयरफोर्स प्रोपोगेट टू देयर मेन एंड वुमेन दैट ऑलवेज यू नो कम आउट विथ योर नॉमिनीज, कौन है करके, क्या है, इन केस ऑफ इवेंचुअल डेथ. That is why the service certificate, marriage certificate, all whatever you as an individual, whatever I had given to Navy कि ये मेरा wife है, is marriage certificate, that becomes a record.
Okay.
So tomorrow if I suppose if I'm a casualty, मैं मर गया तो you know there's huge money which is government pays. So कल को उठ के और 3 औरत आ गए, ये मेरा पति था या मेरा बॉयफ्रेंड था, जो भी था, so Navy will say nothing. रिकॉर्ड में जो है वो है करके, ये नॉमिनी है करके, एंड दैट हैपेंस आउटसाइड. यू नो आई हैव सीन मेनी सच केसेस. So they are very, very educative now. So for our men, when we say our men and women, those who are not officers and men, जो you know अलग अलग ट्रेड के होते हैं, education wise 10th-12th वाले होते, तो एवरी मंथ वी हैव दिस सभा, मिलिट्री सभा जो होता है ना नेवी का, wherein we speak about all those things, personal aspect, and there are personal directorate जो ये करता है.
So any other benefits? आपने obviously pension के बारे में
बहुत सारा
बोला,
ग्रेचुइटी है,
insurance,
मेडिकल इंश्योरेंस है, and
for their student,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry, for their children, वो लोग को भी है?
चिल्ड्रन नहीं, टिल
Okay.
वाइफ को मिलेगा.
Okay.
डिपेंडेंट, व्हाट वी कॉल डिपेंडेंट पेरेंट्स, डिपेंडेंट ये.
Okay.
एंड चिल्ड्रन जब 18 हो जाता है तो ऑटोमेटिकली दे कम आउट ऑफ दैट, एंड देन दे हैव टू गिव अ सर्टिफिकेट सेइंग दैट आइदर आई एम अनमैरिड एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. तब तक आर्मी नेवी एयरफोर्स टेक केयर. द मोमेंट यू गेट मैरिड यू आर आउट. वाइफ हमेशा टिल द टाइम शी इज अलाइव.
और डिसेबल हो गए, आप इंजर हो गए तो भी these benefits are there.
यू हैव डिसेबिलिटी पेंशन मिलता है, बट दैट शुड बी एन एट्रीब्यूटेड टू योर सर्विस.
Okay.
ये नहीं कि मैं, दैट इज द सैडेस्ट पार्ट. वो एक गैप है कि मैं छुट्टी पे आया वेकेशन में, मैं कहीं बाइक पे जा रहा हूँ, एक्सीडेंट हो गया, पैर कट गया, सो देन देयर इज ऑलवेज अ पैरिटी
Right.
कि यू आर नॉट एन एक्टिव सर्विस.